PikachuEX is the most successful and most played deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. We have already covered of how to play it and showcased multiple different viable deck lists. But what if we want to play against PikachuEX? And that's what this video is about. We're gonna take a look at how to play against the PikachuEX and how to counter it in the most effective way possible. So let's start off by taking a look at the Victreebel deck list. This is normally played with PikachuEX, but in order to have a more successful and viable counter to Pikachu, Victreebel is a very good option. So why is that, and what does Victreebel even do? Victreebel, if it's in the active position, allows you to switch your opponent's active Pokemon with some basic Pokemon on their bench. In addition to that, Victreebel does 60 damage for just 2 energy, which is the perfect amount. Because if you look at the Pikachu deck lists, no matter what deck list you actually look at, you will realize that every single basic Pokemon in the Pikachu deck that is not Pikachu or Zapdos has 60 HP. The Voltorb has it, the Blitzel has it, the Pikachu has it. So you can get a kill by pulling these Pokemon into the active and one-shotting them with Victreebel. But the main reason we play Victreebel is because it two-shots a Pikachu and it can always pull Pikachu in the active. And Pikachu has no way around that. If it faces Victreebel, it gets two-shot. Because even if Pikachu retreats, Victreebel can just pull it into the active next turn again and attack it, right? Pikachu cannot flee. And it can also barely even fight back. It's never gonna one-shot the Victreebel back, or even if it somehow manages to get a kill on that Victreebel, that is not an EX Pokemon, right? It only gives you 1 point. And yeah, taking down this 140 HP for 1 point is barely worth it. Especially because you have to do it quick, as you get two-shot by it. So that's pretty good. So that is why Victreebel is a very good counter to the Pikachu deck. Gets two-shot, doesn't get one-shot back, you know, I explained everything. But there are a few things more to mention here. As I already talked about, Victreebel only needs 2 energy. And Executor only needs 1 energy to attack. And what that enables you to attach more energy to the Executor than he actually needs. And you want to do that because that makes you able to actually retreat him. Which, if you play the Venusaur, that will never be possible. And that's why we include 1 X speed in this deck. Or yeah, we can even switch out the red card or get rid of 1 or even both of Sabrina's, because yeah, we don't really need Sabrina, as Victreebel does the job. But I would recommend to keep 1 Sabrina, because yeah, you will also face other matchups. You are not always guaranteed to face a Pikachu, right? And yeah, keep 1 Sabrina for other matchups that don't play so many basic Pokemon. But yeah, you can replace 1 Sabrina if you want. You can get rid of the red card to either play a second Victreebel, a second Executor, a second EX speed, you know. That's up to you. And that's all there is to say about this deck. We covered everything about why it counters Pikachu. So let's move on to another very big Pikachu counter, which is Pikachu, funnily enough. But yeah, it's the list with Raichu, and Raichu is the actual counter to the PikachuEX deck, because the reason for it is very, very simple, and it's just that you have a free one-shot onto anything. Nothing in the PikachuEX deck survives the hit for 140 HP. And that's just a free kill onto a Zapdos EX or the Pikachu EX. That nets you 2 points for free. And if you play against a Pikachu EX without the Raichu, they don't have that luxury. They have to actually fight you and, face to face, but you get free 2 points if you play the Raichu. And that's the reason why it's such a big counter. And there are multiple different deck lists, like you don't have to play it with the Magneton. It makes the strategy that you actually have more consistent, because Magneton, it generates an additional energy per turn. So instead of 1, you get 2 per turn, and that is just absolutely perfect for the Raichu. Because with Lieutenant Surge you can move all the energy on the field to Raichu and use that one shot. So Magneton is here for consistency, but it's not a must play. You could remove that Magneton and play like the Voltorb line instead of that, for example. And yeah, there's more room to change this deck list. For example, you could get rid of the Giovanni and play an additional Magneton, because you will one-shot pretty much everything with the Raichu anyways. But a Giovanni is nice because you will not always face another Pikachu of other matchups, and the most likely other matchup you will face is the Mewtwo EX. And with a Giovanni, Raichu one-shots even that. So Giovanni is here for consistency against other matchups, specifically that Mewtwo EX. So I wouldn't recommend removing it. But you could remove, as I said, the Zapdos EX, play another Magneton. You don't even have to play Magneton, you can play the Voltorb Electrode line. If you do that, I would recommend to remove a Lieutenant Surge and add a second Giovanni. But you get the point. This decklist counters Pikachu EX because it gets 2 points for free, as you can one-shot either Pikachu EX or Zapdos EX with the Raichu. And that makes it so much superior in the mirror matchup that it's almost unplayable against this. You really gotta pray if you wanna win. If you play with a Pikachu EX list that doesn't include Raichu against a list that includes Raichu. And that's why it's here on this list, and yeah, I consider this a much better counter to Pikachu EX than the Victory Bell. But there's one decklist that counters Pikachu even harder, and yeah, it is really fair to say that the decklist that we will take a look at next is the #1 hardest counter to the Pikachu EX. And there recently was a tournament with over 2000 players, and this list that we're gonna take a look at is actually already confirmed to be top 16. Now the top 16 gets played out later today, so it even has the potential to win the biggest tournament ever, right? We will see where it lands, but it's already confirmed top 16. And that's because it is such a hard counter to Pikachu EX. So let's go and take a look at it. And that's it right here. A list with Arcanine EX. It's very straightforward and simple. Why it counters Pikachu, it simply just one-shots it. It's only a stage 1, it has 150 HP and one-shots Pikachu. Now let's first of all talk about that there's room to change this deck list. A lot, actually. Yeah, you can take out the 2 Giovannis, you can take out an old Amber, you can take out the red card, right? And you can include a Ninetales and Blaine. Because Ninetales and Blaine, they also one-shot the Pikachu. So you can build a deck in which you have only Pokemon that one-shot the Pikachu, which is absolutely ridiculous. But this one is the most successful because, as mentioned in the other deck list that we covered, you will have other matchups. You won't always face that PikachuEX, and you gotta be ready for that. And that's why this deck list with the Moltres is the most successful and the most consistent one. But yeah, if you will really want a deck strictly and only to counter the PikachuEX, then you remove the Giovanni and put in Blaine, and you remove the Moltres EX, the old Ember, and the red card to include 2 Vulpix and 2 Ninetales. And you just one-shot Pikachu no matter what. If you have Arcanine, that one-shots the Pikachu. And if you have the Ninetales, combine it with Blaine, get rid of a Pikachu, right? And that's already everything there is to say about it. It all comes down to the Arcanine and letting it one-shot everything that is in the Pikachu deck. This deck list is very good because it includes Giovanni, and Giovanni makes it so that the Arcanine even one-shots the Zapdos EX. So nothing in the Pikachu deck survives Arcanine. And it's also, as I mentioned, very hard to take down because of its 150 HP. And there we have it. We covered the 3 biggest Pikachu counters in the game. I hope that was informative and fun. But until next time, stay safe, have a great day, and bye bye.